Welcome to the video number 590. My name is Ajay and I'm your instructor. Today I'm going to teach you that how to crack this Excel interview test if you are preparing for the MIS analytical job and your interview is going to take place in the near future, or otherwise also if you want to be an expert in Excel, then let us go and watch this video. Okay, because this question was given to me by one of my subscribers, and he didn't mention his name. I got this question on my WhatsApp, so I'm going to share this with you. Very beautiful question, amazing question. Let's go and check that. And this is going to be on the offset with match function. Okay, so let's go and start the topic. So this is what my subscriber has sent out the question to me. Now you have the data here: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you have some numbers here. Now what actually he's asked in the interview: find the sum of the last selected records for the days written below the drop down. So guys, see this very carefully. If I go and write here the last record 1, and if I write the days here Monday, Wednesday and Saturday, I should be getting the total of Monday, Wednesday and Saturday, but from the last one item. So if you look at this, last item is 20. If you add 20 plus 40 and plus 10, what is the answer? It's going to be 71, right? Now if I go and change this to 3, right, now you see that my answer is 140. What is happening? Last 3 items. What is this? If you sum this, this is 40. If you sum this, this is 80. 80 plus 40 is 120. If you sum this, it is going to be 20, and 120 plus 20 will make it 140. Amazing, right? This is what actually we are targeting. Now not only this, I can change here. You saw that I can write here 2 as well. If you write here 2, then you will have this 10, 20 and then 30, 40 and then 5, 11 getting added. But we also want to make sure that if I go and do any changes in the days, my program should give me the sum accordingly. For example, I just go and write here Monday and Monday only. Oops, sorry, MOA. What is the sum, guys? 90. That means this is 40. This is 20, 30 and 40, right? So I have here, I beg your pardon, I have got here 2 items. So 2 items actually is 20 and 10. So 20 and 10 is 30. 30 plus 30 plus 30. What is the answer? 90. So this is a very dynamic formula. And similarly, if I go and press 3, you see that this is my 40. 40 plus 40 plus 40, or 40 multiplied by 3. It is going to be 120. And you can also see that I have first calculated this. I have used this formula. Wonderful formula, isn't it? I have used the counta as well. Right, now I'll try to explain you what I've done here. So we are getting the individual sums here, and then finally what I'm doing, I'm simply adding this, right? And you can obviously go and hide this later, right? So I hope you got the question. Now let us go and talk about this, how we have done this. The first thing which I have done is I'm going to unhide one column. This is very important column. I just go and it's actually not hidden, but I just go and change the font to black. Can you see that? What I did is I made the font white so that nobody can see these numbers. Now these numbers I have written here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? This is important because this is going to actually talk with this cell. If I write here 3, that means the function will pick up 1, 2, 3. If I go and write here 5, then my function will pick up less than equals to 5. So it is, in this way I have actually used my formula. Okay, now I'm going to tell you how we have done this. Okay, so before we do that, before I start explaining you the formula, I want to actually tell you the plan. As always, what is the plan? Now see that, guys. First of all, let me go and change this to, let's say, Wednesday and Saturday. Okay, now guys, see this. If you know the offset function, how the offset function works, when you write the offset function, You tell that what is the reference, that means from where you want to start. Now let's say I want to start from here. Then you go and give the row number. What is a row number? Row number starts with always 0, right? So let's say I want to say that I want to start from 0. And what is the column number? Column number means from this cell how many columns you want to move. If I say that I don't want to move any cell, I go and write here 0, right? And then it comes the height. What do you mean by the height? Height means how many number of rows you want to include in your table. Table which starts with this cell called D4, because I have written here D4. So let's say I write here 3 only. 3 means 1, 2, 3. 3 means you are going to include the 3 rows in the downward direction. If I go and write here -3, it will start in the upward direction. What is the next thing? The width. So I say that how many, my table is going to include how many columns. So I again go and say that it is going to include only one width, because I do not want the, this column or this column or this column. So I keep this simple 3 and 1. 3 means number of rows should be 3 and column is going to be 1. So now what I do, I will go and press Ctrl Shift Enter, because you are going to use multiple columns in a single formula. So when you want to use the multiple cells, actually not columns, in a single formula, you do not press enter, because if I go and press enter, guys, this is going to give me the error, obviously, because you're saying that I want to start from Monday and I want to include 3 rows and 1 column. So how can you get all these 3 cells in a single formula? You can't, right? But the moment you press Ctrl Shift Enter, you see that the curly bracket comes. Curly brackets, so I'm talking about actually arrays, right? So you are using the offset as an array. Now to check how the formula comes, you go after the equals to sign and you press F9. Now you can see that I have got my all the relevant numbers here, values here, Monday 5993, right? If I go and say that no, my table is going to hold, let's say, 5 number of rows, height means number of rows, actually, press Ctrl Shift Enter. Now to see the formula, go in the equals to sign, press F9, and now you can see I have got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the 5 cells are coming because it's going in the downward direction, right? If you say that, all right, so my table is going to hold 5 height, 5 rows, and 1 which is as a width is going to be 2, let's say. So that means now when you press Ctrl Shift Enter, it is going to take 2 columns. This is how it is, 5 rows and 2 columns. So if you go here and press equals to, what will happen, this is the formula, Monday, Tuesday, and then 59, 77, 93, 6. So what is happening? Basically in this function there are 4 parameters. The reference means from where you want to start, which is going to be the starting point of your table. And from there, first you have to tell, so if I start from here, my, if I start from here, then what exactly, where I'm going to stop, which cell actually I'm going to consider as the top of my cell, the head of my cell, right? So for example, now in this case, if you look at this, I said 0, 0. That means you're on the same cell and you are on the same column. So this is why we use the row and the column. Row and columns are used for the movement, whereas height and width are used for the number of the rows and number of the columns, right? So that's why I'm using the Monday, but there's no point of using the Monday because you don't want to use this Monday in your calculation. So I will start from 59 actually. Okay, now if I'm here, if I want to start from 59, because I want to include 59, 93, 85, 93, 10, 10, 10 and 20, right? So what I will do, I will say that from the D4, please move 1 row down. So this will go here in the 59. Okay, and then from there I'm going to pick up how many cells. So what is the height from here? If you are on the 59, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So you can write here 8 also in this way. Now and by the way, the column, the width is going to be 1 because I'm only targeting Monday. Control Shift Enter. Now what will happen when you press F9, guys, you have your entire Monday list coming here, right? Now my job is just to pick up the last 5 items because I have written here 5. This is the entire table, so I'm not going to pick up all the items. I will make this formula in such a way that it should pick the only 20, 10, 10, 10, 93, but I just wanted to give you the idea. Okay, so how to do that? Now what happens if this is my Monday The first thing which we need to make sure is that you should start from here, because this is a Monday, and you should not start from 59, you should start from 20, right? And if it is a Wednesday, your formula should start from here and then pick up the 5 rows in the upward direction. So we will use the -5. And if it is a Saturday, then the formula should automatically start from here. So how we can do that? So the plan is, see this, I go and simply delete this, right? Now what I am doing is, when I write the offset function, the first thing which I want to do is, I want to go to the last cell, because I want to start from the last record. So what I do is, I say that I'm on this D4, okay? I'm on this D4, and now what I will do, I will count how many rows I have to go down, because this table can have more entries also in the downward direction, who knows. So if I simply go and say that this is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, if I say that 8, I want to go 8 rows down, and on the same column which is 0, if I go and press enter, you see that guys, you are going to get 20, right? But the problem is, tomorrow if I add something else, 33, this should be 33 now, because we want to find out the last cell. So what is the plan? The plan is, make this 8 dynamic, right? Because ultimately you will have to change this 8 to 9, so that I can go 9 rows down starting from here, which this is 0, okay? So but this should automatically change. So to change this, I will simply go and say count A. So count A means that you please go and start from here and give the extra buffer. Let's say I am sure that my table will never go beyond D20, so I keep this D5 to D20, okay? And then now I go and press enter. Let me close this, sorry for that. Now you can see that I got my 33. If you go and write here 55, now you see that the formula is automatically changing. Why? Because you said that start from D4 and move how many rows? Count A. Count A is going to count this. What's gonna come? Count is 11. So you're saying from here, move 11 rows and on the same column, which is the 0 column. This is how we write the count function, offset function. So you are going to move 1 2 3 4, all the rows which the count function is going to return to you, okay? I'm using the count, remember, count A, because just in case if you have here some text entry, the thing is count will not work, remember that. The count function will not work, so that's why I'm using the count A. But otherwise also guys, this can be, you can use a count also, because of the simple reason, you do not want to write here any text entry, okay? Because count always counts the number and count A counts everything. So even if I go and write here count, it should work, right? Because count is used to count the numbers and we cannot have here any text entry, right? So this is the plan guys. Now why I'm telling you this for portion, because right now I'm not able to find out the last 5 records. It's only giving me the last record. Now here comes the next part. Once you have made the formula dynamic, let me go and delete this. So you're back on the 20. Once you are able to reach to the last cell, from that last cell you're gonna say that move me 5 rows up or 3 rows up, whatever the user write here. Now here comes the offset height and the width. So row and the columns are there to give you the movement. Your cell is going to move. If you know the VBA, then we use the offset always to give the movement. So finally from Monday I'm able to move to the last cell because of the row and the column parameter. But once I'm there, once I reach to my destination, I'm going to say that now from here pick up the 5 rows, but in the minus direction. You can't go in the downward direction. So you will write here minus, and then you go and select this M5, right? What is the width? Obviously the width is going to be 1 guys, because you just need to target only this cell. So Control Shift Enter. When you say Control Shift Enter, go and press F9. Look at this guys, you got 10 10 20. The 3 records are coming. This is amazing, isn't it? Thank you so much, my dear subscriber, though I didn't get your name because now if I write here 1, you can see here if I go and press F9, I got here only 20. So are you getting the plan, guys? First we are making sure, let's go to the last cell, and then from there just minus this whatever value, so that we can have the number of the rows. Now if I just simply go and change this to 44, 55, 66, 33, you know, whatever, can you see that I'm getting here 33? If I go and say that now 3, you can see that I got my 44. If you go and press F9, because arrays always works on the F9, okay, you can't see all the cells in single cell until you go here and press F9. So I got here 44, 55, 33, amazing. So I'm picking up the last items. That's why I used here in the row parameter count function. Okay, very important point, guys. How I'm sure that I have to include these 3 numbers. Why not these 3 numbers? Why not these 3 numbers? I know it's Monday, right? But the formula doesn't know. How will you make sure that formula will go according to the days you have written here? How will you make it sure, guys? Now here comes the important part. Right now, if you look at the formula again, what I'm doing is I'm selecting the Monday and I'm going in this table, right? But it has to be on the auto mode, which means if I go and write here Tuesday, this range should automatically now pick up the Tuesday. And why it is going to pick up? Because your formula says that in the D4 go in the D4 and then count how many values you have, go to the last cell, and from the last cell pick up the minus M5, which means minus 3 rows, which means in the upward direction pick up the 3 rows and 1 column. So you have to now think on this part. Now see this, guys, very important. You see that I told you that for the moment you use the row and the columns. Now for the row you're counting all these numbers, right? So this is okay, because every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday have the same number of, you know, the cells here. So if I have here 8 numbers, this also has 8 numbers, this also has 8 numbers. But the point is, this 0, the column, should not be 0. This should be according to the day you have written here. For example, if I have written here Tuesday, then starting from here it has to be 1. Why 1? Because offset starts with 0, I told you. So Monday is going to be considered as 0, and this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4 for this column number parameter, right? So what I will do here is I will go here and write the match function. I say that match, you please go and look up this Tuesday in this table. So match is going to look up the Tuesday, and match does what? Match returns the position. I hope you know that. So match is going to look up the Tuesday and match will return you 2, right? But for offset, 2 means 0, 1 and 2. Wednesday, you don't do that, right? So you subtract minus 1 from it to balance it out. Okay, now I go and press Control Shift Enter. Right now, can you see that, guys? Look at this. If I go and press F9, sorry, you got here 39, 90, 14, and this is what you need because you have written here Tuesday, right? If you want to go and see the formula how it works, it's a beautiful formula actually. That's why, you know, Excel is everywhere, right? So I say offset means move from the D4 how many rows? D5 to D20. So D5 to D20 or E5 to E20, you will have the same result, right? I click on the evaluate, you got here 8. So now you are saying that from the D4 move me 8 row down, and how many columns? Well, that depends what you have written here. So this, when I click on the evaluate, this Tuesday will come. So match is going to look up this Tuesday in this, you know, D4 to J4, and it returns the position which is going to be 2. So I'm subtracting minus 1 from it. So finally you have your answer here that from the D4 please move 8 rows down and 1 column. So if you are on the D4, 1 column means this is 0 and this is 1. So your position is changing, and then you are saying 8 rows down. So 8 rows down means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now you are on the 14. Now from the 14, how many rows? The height parameter comes into action. How many rows you got to pick up? I got to pick up 3 rows but minus 3. So from the 14, it's going to pick up the 3 rows. And finally, you have your, you know, the table coming as like this, 31 and then comma 90 and 14. If you go and say that Sunday you see that it starts with 35, this 35, right? Because your now this match function will return 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 7 minus 1 will make it 6. So you are saying that from here move me 6 columns, add 8 rows. So finally you go in the 52. From the 52 you pick up 3 rows in the upward direction. So when you press F9, this is what you get: 35, 29 and 52, right? So this formula I have to replicate here and here because I have got Sunday the other days also. So what I do is you just go and freeze this D4, because this D4 I do not want to move at all. This also you should freeze it, because this should start from D5 and stop at D20, right? And then the match L8. So this L8, this is my L8. This should be L9 and L20 when you drag the formula in the downward direction. So let's not do anything. D4 to J4, this table should not change at all. So I'm going to press F4 here. Finally, I have the M5 here, which is the last record. This is completely, we need to freeze this so that M5 should not change to M6, right? Now guys, press Ctrl Shift Enter, make sure you do that. Once you have done that, just go and drag the formula, and finally you have the result. And now here I will simply go and say that sum of these three numbers, and you have your answer. And then you go and hide this or whatever you want to do. That's all up to you. Okay, so now can we cross check quickly? So last three records of Sunday and Wednesday and Thursday. So what is my Sunday? If I sum this, this is my 116. Okay, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm doing a one mistake actually. This is not 35, because we want to sum the last three items. So when you go here and when you press F9, right, you got the 35, 29, 52. But then what to do now? Obviously you want to add it, right? So what are you gonna do? You go here and write here sum. This is how we write the arrays. So arrays are one of my favorite topics. Be it Excel VBA, be it Advanced Excel. You cannot skip the arrays if you want to be a master, right? And this is what I always tell to my students also when they go and take my personal online classes. You got to be an expert in arrays. Trust me, if you really want to be known as a master in Excel, right? So I press Ctrl Shift Enter, and finally I got the sum, guys, right? And I go and drag it. I should have done this before, but that's okay. So you have here 116. You can see 116 is coming. 35, 29, 52 if you add. And then we have the Wednesday. So what is the Wednesday? Wednesday is my 40, 30 and 10, which is 80. So this is what you're getting here. Very nice. And then finally we have the Saturday. Saturday is my favorite day because I enjoy this a lot, right? So this is my 20, and that's what you're getting here. Great. If you go and change something, if you go and write here Sunday and Sunday, do whatever, guys, who cares? Do whatever. You have made this formula. Yes, thank you so much for this, and this is what exactly the formula is. You can see here, that's the formula, right? Alright guys, so thank you so much for giving your precious time, and we'll talk in the next upcoming video again. Bye bye.